just using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah,
but like his core personality and his.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But
Floyd, yeah, because
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has publicly called out Terence Crawford for potential bout in 2026, and Crawford has responded with interest, making it clear he's ready to accept the challenge and settle the question of who stands above the other in the ring. Despite the noticeable age gap, Mayweather being almost 10 years older, he pushed for the matchup after growing frustrated with fans increasingly placing Crawford's achievements and abilities alongside his own.
Played the part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
What do you...
Following his latest win, Terence Crawford was asked about the growing calls from fans who want to see him take on Floyd Mayweather Jr., especially now that Mayweather himself has shown interest in the fight. Crawford responded by saying that if the money is right, Mayweather is welcome to step into the ring and test himself against one of the sport's top fighters. He emphasized his stance by making it clear that he's fully prepared to turn the matchup into reality.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't going.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. chose to challenge Terence Crawford largely due to growing fan demand, along with comments from two of his former opponents who suggested Crawford had surpassed him. Those remarks appeared to question Mayweather's long-established standing in the sport. The situation was viewed by some as diminishing what Crawford has achieved inside the ring. Shane Mosley, who lost a decision to Mayweather about 15 years ago, voiced support for Canelo Alvarez and agreed that Crawford has earned recognition at that same elite level.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands.
In a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Shane Mosley shared his view that Terence Crawford holds an edge over Floyd Mayweather Jr. While acknowledging Mayweather's exceptional ability, Mosley pointed out that Crawford continues to evolve as a fighter, adding strength and successfully competing in higher weight divisions. Because of that steady progression, he considers Crawford a more well-rounded boxer overall at the same time. Mosley emphasized that Mayweather's precision, ring awareness, and defensive skills make him extremely hard to hit cleanly. He noted that a matchup between them would be closely contested, but ultimately believes Crawford would have the advantage due to his natural size and reach.
It's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter.
Boxing fans and experts across the globe have begun arguing over whether Terence Crawford should now be considered the greatest of all time following his win against Canelo Alvarez. At 37 years old, Crawford returned to the top spot in the pound-for-pound rankings after securing that significant victory. Before the fight, Canelo had already shared his thoughts, and after the loss, he stood by them, openly acknowledging Crawford as a better fighter. During the post-fight press conference, Canelo sparked widespread discussion when he went a step further, stating that Crawford surpasses Floyd Mayweather Jr. in overall ability. Speaking to reporters, he made it clear that in his view, Crawford is on a higher level than Mayweather.
Can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can?
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
It's important to note that this opinion came from a fighter who has stepped into the ring with both Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Canelo Alvarez making such a firm statement immediately after his loss suggests either a high-level respect or a genuine belief that Crawford stands above everyone else. His remarks quickly drew mixed reactions across the boxing community. Some supporters highlighted Crawford's willingness to move through multiple weight divisions and take on tough challenges, while others backed Mayweather by pointing to his undefeated record and long list of accomplishments. Crawford later addressed the situation, noting that Canelo has first-hand experience against both fighters, giving weight to his opinion. He echoed that sentiment during an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, explaining that while people are free to form their own views, Canelo has shared the ring with each of them and understands their ability from direct competition.
How did that feel to hear that from someone like him?
I just was like, well, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best.
Was ready for the body shots. Occasionally the straight right hand to the body would land for Canelo. But, sooner or later, Crawford started getting out of the way of that as well by just pivoting, on the angle and, making Canelo reach. There were spots inside the ring that I saw Crawford.
Since this ultimately comes down to individual perspective, the argument is expected to carry on for a long time. In the case of Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather Jr., both have enjoyed extended success as champions in multiple weight classes, securing their places among the greatest American fighters the sport has seen. Throughout their careers, each has prioritized maintaining an unblemished record. At the same time, there has been ongoing discussion about the different approaches they use in preserving those perfect records. Ryan Garcia touched on this topic during an appearance on the Ring Magazine's Inside the Ring segment on September 10th.
Another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and when he was younger. So, I don't know. I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era.
Max Kellerman has expressed the opinion that Manny Pacquiao should be ranked above Floyd Mayweather Jr. on any all-time pound-for-pound list. His stance came after ESPN placed Mayweather in the top spot while listing Pacquiao second. Around the same time, former NFL player LaShawn McCoy stated that no one influenced boxing the way Mayweather did, though he suggested that impact was not entirely positive. Ryan Garcia also weighed in, describing Mayweather as highly calculated when it came to timing his fights, knowing exactly when to step in and when to hold back. He acknowledged Mayweather's ability to create massive events and generate huge revenue, calling him exceptional in that regard, but raised concerns about when many of those fights took place. Garcia went on to suggest that after his run at junior lightweight, Mayweather often didn't face opponents at their absolute peak. In his view, that strategy influenced the sport in a negative way, adding that many modern fighters now prioritize protecting an unbeaten record and keeping their zero intact.
A game like Floyd Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, that he's the best in that game. He's the best in, making money and making all the, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight.
He changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had
a lot of the stuff that Canelo was doing, and that I would say this, that worked from Boots helped in that aspect because Canelo was reacting to a lot of the counters that Crawford was throwing. Usually in the past, Canelo would stand right there. He would lunge and he would stay in place, keep his feet in place. However,
even so, Crawford's recent achievements have led many to reconsider how these all-time rankings should look. The timing of these discussions feels fitting, as Terence Crawford is currently performing at the highest level of his career while continuing to compete among the sports elite. Max Kellerman, who has analyzed boxing for many years, also weighed in on a possible showdown between Crawford and Floyd Mayweather Jr. during an episode of Inside the Ring. He pointed out that Mayweather would hold certain advantages in that matchup, particularly in terms of distance control, defensive ability, and hand speed. Kellerman also emphasized that Mayweather's technical precision is a major reason he is widely regarded as one of the greatest champions the sport has ever seen.
Because, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first.
Max Kellerman also pointed out that once Floyd Mayweather Jr. moved beyond the lightweight division, he became more calculated in choosing his opponents, particularly when it came to high-risk matchups. According to Kellerman, each step in Mayweather's career appeared to be carefully mapped out. While that approach played a key role in preserving his undefeated record, it also led to ongoing debate about whether he consistently faced rivals at their peak. In contrast, Terence Crawford was described as a fighter willing to take on any challenge at any stage of his career. Kellerman uses comparison to highlight how differently fans and fellow fighters tend to view these two paths within the sport.
I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with
Floyd Mayweather Jr. built a longer professional record than Terence Crawford and held clear strengths in areas like speed, defensive ability, and overall technique. After moving up from the lightweight division, he also became more deliberate in selecting his opponents. On the other hand, Crawford has repeatedly shown a readiness to face any challenger during his career, even when certain obstacles helped shape his development as a fighter. Max Kellerman drew an additional comparison by placing Crawford alongside iconic names such as Sugar Ray Robinson and Roy Jones Jr. He noted that Crawford has earned admiration from fellow fighters in a similar way, suggesting that a boxer's legacy is defined by more than just records and statistics.
A lot of comparison between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that fight.
Yes, sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terrence.
always figures it out.
Yeah. Fans of the sport have often highlighted the similarities between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford, though that comparison doesn't diminish the recognition Mayweather has received for his accomplishments, including his status as an undefeated champion. Crawford has also shown respect toward Mayweather, viewing him as a figure to learn from. When discussing their shared traits, Mayweather offered his own perspective, while Crawford responded with praise, acknowledging Mayweather's abilities and emphasizing just how remarkable his skills are. He explained that while there are clear similarities between them, there's also a key difference in approach, noting that he tends to take more chances in the ring. He emphasized that Terence Crawford showed a willingness to take significant risks early in his career, which set him apart in that regard. The version of Floyd Mayweather Jr. being discussed could be either his money phase or the earlier pretty boy period, with the latter focused heavily on dominance and aggression. During that time, Mayweather dealt with hand injuries that affected his punching power, eventually influencing his move to higher weight classes where he faced naturally bigger opponents.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. If you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was what is seek and destroy.
Terence Crawford has stated that he and Floyd Mayweather Jr. share a number of similarities, yet comparisons between the two have remained constant as fans and analysts try to determine who stands above the other. As these discussions gain momentum, some observers even suggested that Crawford could come out on top in a head-to-head matchup. When it comes to pure technical ability, Mayweather is often regarded as one of the most refined boxers ever, known for his accuracy, hand speed, sharp jab, and elite counterpunching. Over time, he continued to sharpen those skills throughout his career. Crawford has pointed out the contrast between Mayweather's two phases, describing Pretty Boy Floyd as more aggressive and offensively driven, while Money Mayweather relied on experience, ring intelligence, and strategy to outmaneuver opponents. Both styles, regardless of preference, played a major role in building his legacy. At the same time, fans have continued to praise Crawford's recent performance against Errol Spence Jr., further fueling the ongoing debate.
Reach from the left hooks again. And the lightning hand speed extraordinary. Oh. Left hook drops him. And then he hit his head off the en masse here at the engine.
Terence Crawford delivered a standout performance, repeatedly breaking through Errol Spence Jr.'s guard with precise and forceful jab. He also showed exceptional ability in close-range exchanges, landing clean shots while timing his counters with accuracy. Although Spence is widely regarded as an elite fighter, Crawford's display in that bout was something rarely witnessed at that level. At the same time, focusing solely on the skill set of Floyd Mayweather Jr. makes it clear he cannot be overlooked. His approach differs from Crawford's, but it remains highly effective in its own right. A matchup between Crawford at his peak and Mayweather's calculated, methodical style brings up plenty of questions. Who would establish control with the jab first, and who would defend more efficiently? With so many variables, picking a definite winner becomes difficult. Throughout his career, Mayweather perfected a system built on controlling the pace, drawing opponents into exchanges, analyzing their tendencies, and then executing with precision. That method led him to an undefeated run across 5 weight divisions and eventual Hall of Fame recognition, built on the principle of striking without taking damage. Meanwhile, Crawford, unbeaten at junior welterweight and continuing his success at welterweight, has consistently demonstrated high-level ring intelligence and adaptability, reinforcing his place among the sport's elite.